here on the third and or fourth day of Christmas, depending on when you started counting, here on Good Enough Island from Papua New Guinea. We are here, of course, with the 51st edition of ESL Open Cup Asia. I'm, of course, your host, Yaku of Zaku, and with me today we have La Estanteria de Libros que se como a todos los elfos, Light_VIP. How we doing, Light?
Did you just say I eat all the elves?
What?
What?
Maybe?
What's up, Yaku? We are here. We are back. We are still in 2020. This is going to be our last cast of the year, mate.
What?
Oh!
Huh. I never thought about it that way.
Let that sink in. But mates, we are here, and of course, it's become a regular thing here. He has replaced Patience as our round one go-to.
Oh.
Feels bad, man.
Rip Patience. But yes, we are in fact here on Lightshade LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, swinging all the way to the top left-hand corner map, not using a clan tag to distinguish himself. He is instead going to be forcing you to guess. But we have the answer. We have Ryung.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have his opponent, his blue Zerg opponent. Last week, he went up against Armani as well as, oh my god, I just did the thing, Mir Micah. But here we have, representing KranKy Gaming, it is Solar.
You just did the thing?
I just edited the VODs, last week's VODs. I was trying to...
He just did the thing!
Okay. Oh my, this is...
And he's doing it. Alright. Ryung.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Oh, and...
He is doing
okay.
what he did last week when he played against Mio Micah and Armani, specifically on Lightshade.
Uh-huh.
Solar did not even bother to scout whatsoever.
This is interesting. Okay, so what's crazy is this is the third variation that we've seen when it comes to the Zerg response, because Miyamika and Armani last time, they would go in with their Overlord, they would see that there's no natural, and then Miyamika, to be fair, there were instances where both Zerg players, they overreacted. Well, I mean, Miyamika didn't react, but
That's
Solar, he's not scouting this at all, and he's going for a regular third base.
Yeah, playing a lot more, I don't want to say reactive, but definitely playing it out in the way that he just wants to be a little bit more safe, right? He just wants to cover his grounds, and he's positioning his Overlord in a way that if he sees any movement coming out, then he'll be, in a position to maneuver some Zerglings to defend, but he doesn't know whatsoever what's coming its way. Natural, though.
No,
he denies it for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. The Marines are gonna have to calm down and deal with this. And because Solar, I would say that this is kind of like a greedy opener, because if it was a proxy Rax, he would not know at all that it was out on the map.
Super
and
greedy, yeah.
Yeah. So he really, but it worked out for him.
Yeah, he even confirms that there are 2 Marines, so no Reapers on the map right now.
Oh,
Ball is pretty far in his court. He knows he has some map control, but now, anyway.
Exactly, and I was curious to see if Ryung had something else in store for us. And to be fair, I like that he did this on Lightshade, especially because we haven't seen him do this against Solar. It's quite possible that Solar isn't aware of this opener that Ryung goes for. So he could have been caught off guard, but yeah, it didn't really work out for him. And now it's really on Ryung to make something happen with this opener. Yeah,
I have to wonder what that's going to be. He is throwing in a couple of Hellions along with this, so it seems like it's going to be what he did against Armani last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's that armory? That's all I'm going to say. There it is!
There it is. There's the armory. It's going to be a big, strong push. So the problem is that Solar is aware of the opening, right? Because he saw both Marines, he knows that it was a 2-Rax. He knows that the Reaver was skipped as well. He doesn't know about the armory, so he doesn't know how committed this attack is going to be. So it's possible that he won't be prepared. The Baneliness is only just now going down.
Yeah, no Spine Crawlers here either. Not going to be able to, deter too many Hellions for now. He does have some decent vision, though, right outside of Ryung's bases. Should be able to spot this move out, and he does. Not sure if he saw the Hellion or not. But for all he knows, there's a heck of a lot of Marines coming his way. He wants to get those Banelings out as quick as can be.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like as soon as that Baneling nest finishes, he's going to be morphing in as many as he can. Hopefully he does morph them in like a relatively safe location so the Marines don't get on top of them. And like Ryung is on a timer right now. Like he has to make something happen with this attack.
He's gonna elevator Hellions. Nope, never mind.
He could
look like that was what he was gonna do.
Yeah, he could have tried to go for that. Oh my god, there are just so many queens here.
Yeah, it's providing enough of a buffer here for these Banelings to safely morph in. Meanwhile, the Lings went around, thought they might have gone for a surround, but no, actually just going to go for a complete counter harass. Ryung, I mean, all the momentum that he may have had was kind of stymied now, morphing into Hellbats, but, you know, Banelings have already been morphed in. Ryung, he's going to have to be very careful of how he positions his army going in.
Exactly. Solar has the high ground. Like, there are two massive ramps, but there are queens here. There are Banelings, as you said. We have Baneling speed on the way. Lair just finished up, and throughout all of this, Drone is just, Solar is just droning up hard. Like, he's well ahead in the worker count.
Why don't we have a player called Drone yet?
Right?
We have Probe.
We had
Team
Hydra.
SCV life. We had Hydra. Liberator being incorporated here. Ryung, he wants to get some kind of damage no matter what. And he is denying a decent amount of the mining time over here. Queens are going to put a stop to that, though.
Yeah, exactly. So only for a moment there was the mining not happening whatsoever at the natural. There may be an opportunity here for Ryung, but again, he has to be careful even with stimming, right? There's only one medevac with this army.
And it's not even at half energy yet. That I gotta tell you, Light, out of all the Zerg players who Ryung has did this build against, Solar has reacted the cleanest so far.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we expect. Like, we were talking about it last week even. We were talking about Armani and how Armani, he is like at the cusp of breaking into that like upper tier, like elite Zerg in South Korea. Solar, he's one of them, right? Like he's legit like one of the best Zergs in Korea.
Yeah, he knows how to defend against a build like this. He knows not to die to the SCVs being pulled, although that hasn't happened yet.
Oh god.
That's what I would say. Decent split over here. Banelings do manage to crash in on a decent amount of Marines and even getting some good damage on top of the Hellbats. Yeah, Solar's completely cleaned this up. Ryung gonna have to forced to reevaluate.
Yeah, exactly. For Ryung, he is forced all the way back. He's looking to expand, so it's not like he was like 100% all in, but he had to deal some damage with that attack. Like, look at the worker count. Like, he's far behind. He's only just now getting his third up and running. Meanwhile, Solar is expanding, taking his own fourth.
But what if, Light, mules and also mine drop take out a good chunk of the drones? Oh, Solar does react to this lone mine trying to reburrow. Now there is a spore crawler over there that's not in position to deny much, but is in position to get Grant vision.
Yeah, so in the end, these Widow Mines will be dealt with, but they did kill 8 drones, which is pretty huge, and he does scout the mutas.
Yeah, this is pretty big for Ryung, clawing his way back into getting even on top of the workers. Solar forced to, remake those drones instead of getting more mutas like he'd want to. Question is, okay, now making some missile turrets.
Yeah, like he's getting ready for them. I do like that he was already going for Widow Mines, so like he already has that to help him against the mutas. If he was going for tanks, I'd be so much more concerned for Ryung, but now like he definitely has potential to defend and make sure he doesn't allow Solar to get too much value with these mutas.
Like so, and the mutas leave just immediately.
Yeah, man, look, there are Marines, there's Widow Mines, there's missile turrets, like you don't want to push into that.
Yeah, there's a Liberator that's sieged up. Yeah. You don't want to go into that. Like, what if the muta just like gets in too low of an altitude?
Exactly. That's not what you want to see.
Prime targeting. It'd be kind of cool if there were levels of altitude.
That would make StarCraft so much more complicated. Like, oh god,
there'd be so much math involved. Oh, the Widow Mine! Solar does react, but not quite having the time to split up his forces. Doesn't take too much damage on these.
Yeah, Solar playing
still,
with
having them in the yellow, it's not ideal.
Yeah, definitely. He was playing with fire, right? Like typically when it comes to your mutalist group, like you have some detection with it to avoid something like that from happening.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking that at this point, Ryung, how many Widow Mines can you really have in the map right now, right? He's probably going to be a little more conservative with them. Can get away with that. But was not quite the case. Now we see Solar with the Overseer sniping these Widow Mines before they can even get a shot out.
Yeah, he still hasn't found an opportunity to dive into a mineral line, which is probably the most important thing. Like, he's, you know, been forced to stay at the edge of all the bases of Ryung for the time being. But as all this has been happening, mate, Solar's maxed out. He's 200 out of 200 supply. He's got 4. He's getting his 5th base. He's looking to just roll over Ryung's army right now.
Yeah, and that honestly wouldn't take too much from him right now. Well, he does still need to be careful not to run into a bunch of Widow Mines, because while Solar is maxed out, Ryung is matching that army supply, even getting a little ahead of it. Doesn't quite have the worker count that he wants, but for Terran to be a little bit behind, that's totally alright.
Yeah, and as you were saying,
what does concern me is that he's still on 3 bases.
That is concerning. There is a 4th on the way, but it's still in production. There was already a decent Widowmine shot in the center of the map. Like, if Ryung is able to get a couple more of those, never to like overcommit to like a big attack, then yeah, he can like slowly chip away at this army.
Yeah, but that is so position dependent right now for him, and Solar's aware of it. He does not want to overextend for even an inch.
Oh yeah, exactly, on both ends, right? Like, Ryung, he can't stray too far away from his Widow Mines. Like, that's like his anchor point. That's where he needs to back off to help deal with the Ling Bane. But it looks like, look, Solar, he's just going for a massive counterattack.
Yeah, he knows that Ryung has concentrated most of his army over there, so he's just gonna try to avoid that. These Widow Mines are like the Terran creep. Ooh!
Nice.
That was only Ling, but man, that was a lot of blood from where I was looking at it.
Yeah, like, again, like, whatever, like, every Widowmine shot counts at this point. Slowly, Ryung, he's taking his 4th base, but finally, oh, is Solar gonna be able to do something with these mutants? Actually, the Banelings get caught out.
Yeah, off a creep. And with this, does he have concussive shells? Does not, funnily enough. Alright, well, I guess it just goes to show how slow Banelings can be when they're off creep.
Yeah, exactly. Creep, it's all about that creep. And to be fair, Solar's creep spread is pretty good. It's reached that center portion of the map, but for the most part, Ryung has done a good job at just keeping it there at the halfway point.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this is some of the biggest creep spread I've seen from a Zerg player in a while, but at the same time, it's not actually that, it's not covering the map like you might expect from a lot of Zerg players, right?
Yeah, definitely. And now Ryung, he's going for the multi-prone. We have, you know, a pretty strong army here to the north, another one to the south as well.
Oh, I'm about to get caught up by Widow Mines. The Thor is the anchor point, and it's only Banelings over there. They really cannot contest with that. A lot of Banelings do crash into the juicy Marines, though.
Oh, that they do.
North, Ryung is being chased back once again. Doesn't even care about these Mutalisks. He has so much supply.
Exactly. There's just so many Banelings. It doesn't even matter if half of them crashed into the Thors. In the end, really nice micro there. Ryung was able to keep one of his Thors alive, and that really pushed away the Mutas. But as we saw, Solar, for the most part, he won both engagements to the north and the south.
Oh
god.
There's no support line. It's getting body blocked. After that one Thor. Oh, the Marines tried to save it.
They tried, but they couldn't get there in time. For the most part, Solar's been able to push away Ryung, but Ryung, he's also bought enough time where his 4th base is, for the most part, getting up and running. He's working on a 5th base. He's slowly catching up in that supply.
He very much is, and in terms of the income, alright, still pretty much favoring Solar. Quite a bit. He's building up a pretty massive bank. But as long as Ryung is able to, you know, make sure that Solar doesn't get any bases on his side of the map, he should still be alright.
Yeah, exactly. And Solar, I mean, to be fair, like, he is starting to take essentially his entire half of the map, and the Ultras are out.
That they are. The Widow Mines aren't really going to be of much use against them. I do like that Ryung was making a bunch of Marauders before the Ultras even came out. So he's decently prepared, but does need to, you know, start thinking of a transition here.
Speaking of transition, I don't know if this is the best move for Solar, because he's going deep off of creep and he's just throwing away his Ultras.
Yeah, you could argue that, you know, he does have the economy to, you know, start trading it efficiently, but there comes a certain point where you reach diminishing returns here, and Solar has realized that, backs away. He's on 92 workers, I just realized.
Arguably too many workers.
Yeah. He already doesn't have quite as much army as he'd like.
Yeah. And as we saw, like, that, like, ground army was really a distraction because he was able to kill the 5th base of Ryung over to the north with those Mutalisks. Oh, he did lose quite a number of Mutas, and those Thors, they are pretty heavily the Ultras are pretty heavily bruised.
Yeah, Zerg regen health, but not that quickly.
Yeah, not without queens, not without them transfuses.
All right, getting a couple of these Liberator Siege, but not quite in position here. Does zone out the army from around over there. Ryung, you gotta lift. Oh, cannot lift that depot.
It
and now
lift.
Solar, he's everywhere.
Yeah, the Baneling's gonna be getting all over this third base location. The Bioforce is pretty strong from Ryung, but as you said, like, there are Lings trying to get into the main base. The Mutas are still holding strong.
And honestly, from the way things are looking, Ryung, he's kind of winning the army battle, but he is losing the economy so hard. Solar to have been able to take out a handful of these SCVs for all that, completely worth it for him. Look at his bank right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Solar, doesn't matter how inefficiently he trades, he can just keep sending wave after wave of just Zerg towards Ryung, and
GG is called. Solar, proving why he's a cut above the rest when it comes to these Zerg players.
Exactly. Oh, to be fair, Ryung, he was doing a good job at keeping up with Solar for the longest time. It was just in those final moments where, like, Solar just went across the map, and it just didn't matter how good Ryung was splitting and how good he was trading. He was just losing bases, losing SCVs.
Yeah, I feel like it does just about come down to the point where once Ryung had lost his momentum with his opening, he was so far behind. Solar could do anything and still be ahead. Solar could take a nap, and he'd still be ahead of Ryung.
Yeah. GG. What a game number one. And in game number two, I don't expect Ryung to go for that same opening. For those wondering, because we didn't really get to mention much about it, Ryung, his go-to opening on Lightshade is to go for this 2 racks opener to hide the natural expansion and to make his opponent think it's a proxy and overreact. But because Solar didn't scout, he didn't react. So Solar was just
he didn't need to react.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I guess you could sort of say that, you know, on Lightshade you do have time to react, since, you know, it is a pretty big wide open map. And actually I'll have to look at a replay maybe potentially, but it did seem like Solar had a little bit of vision on the more popular proxy locations. Someone correct me if I'm wrong though.
Yeah, I didn't keep an eye on his second Overlord, but it's possible that his second Overlord was going over to those proxy locations just in case, to kind of cover his bases. And yeah, we'll see if Ryung is able to do something a little bit more standard here, so that he doesn't put himself behind with his opener, right?
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping, or maybe he'll just proxy.
Yeah. Oh, has Ryung actually proxied so far since when we casted him? I don't believe he did, but he did do a bunch of other cheeky stuff.
He did 2 weeks ago. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago when he played against Rogue, right? Was it?
Oh, the one we missed.
Yeah.
Rip.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, but you know what doesn't feel bad? Pillars of Gold, LE, holding up the rest of the current map pool. Getting nice and swole, LE. We're here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. The Red Terran player coming down from South Korea. He is currently teamless, but will forever be representing Axiom. We have the Tuna Terran himself, Ryung.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Kai Z Gaming, already up 1-0 in this best of 3. It is Solar.
And while we're here at the start of the game, thank you very much, Steel Mold, for the 25-month sub. You chump. I just wait around and eventually somebody gifts it to me. Shout out to Lord Loken.
Shout out to Lord Loken. He's not even here and he's getting a shout out. We really appreciate all the support. Something that's pretty interesting that's happening right now. Solar actually went for a pool first.
That he did. Seems to be a bit more of a defensive pool first. I'm taking a page out of me and Micah here, but why would you want to go defensive pool first in ZvT though? It's my question, like.
Yeah, like, I would imagine he's assuming that Ryung is going to go for a proxy, and we do already see that, like, based off of the Overlord scouting patterns.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, Solar is scouting for that proxy. You know, he is a very diligent scouter, but now we know what that pool first is actually for.
Oh boy, and this is what I love about the South Korean Zerg players. Like, they're just not afraid to just cheese it up. They don't have to play a solid macro game that can whip something like this out in the middle of a series. And now this is scary. Okay, Ryung, he didn't skip his Reaper.
Unlike some people.
Looking at you, Beyond. God damn it.
So auto.
Never gonna forget that.
But yeah, Ryung, we'll see how diligent he's going to be with his own Reaper here. We do see it a couple of times that sometimes Terran players, they do get tricked by scouting the hatchery in the natural base. Ryung isn't going straight for the main. No! This is what I'm talking about, Light.
To be fair, he did get some information. Okay, so he saw that there were no drones at the natural location. Obviously, he sees that there are lings across the map, so he does know that it was a pool first. He does not know anything about these roaches, though. He has no idea, and the Reaper came back home.
Yeah, hopefully he'll build a bunker in position, but right now, for all he knows, it's, just a ling flood coming his way. Hence the Hellion.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no, prioritization of a cyclone. There's no bunker on the high ground. Right now, he's focusing on finishing up his natural, cleaning up these lings. And, mate, in a couple of seconds, roaches are going to hit him in the face.
Plus a Ravager. Speaking of a couple of seconds, 1,000. There we go.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, Ryung, he's going to try and finish up the CC so then he can lift it up, but the SCV just gets taken out.
So close to a line. He's pulling all the boys. Well, not all the boys, but you know what I mean. He's just trying to get it up. It's not up. It goes up, Light, but it's burning.
It's burning. It goes up in more ways than one. It is up in the air right now, but now the roaches and the Ravagers are getting into the main base. The supply depot wasn't even lifted up.
Yeah, Ryung trying to micro as best he can. He is keeping his military units alive, which is something, but he's losing a heck of a lot of SCVs. That CC is up in flames.
Oh god, it's up in flames right now. There's a timer on it. The SCVs are being pulled, and it looks like with only these 2 Ravagers left, Ryung, he's going to be able to just barely clean up and hold on.
Oh, this tank barely keeping Ryung alive right now. He loses that final SCV. Oh, when an entire mineral line has fallen here, Light, what would you even do now as Ryung to get back in this game?
Drop, mate. Hopefully he repairs this CC. It's slowly dying. Okay, he's coming.
Let's see if the resources to repair it, though, actually.
Oh, God.
He's running out of money to repair.
He's running out of money. Okay. He's slowly putting out the fires. He's doing what he can. Like, I love the little cheeky move where he chased down the Ravager. He's killing the Overlord. But as you said, 16 SCVs went down. He has less than half the worker count.
Yeah, I wish Maddox was here.
Maddox, please. Quick. I'm gonna whip out my phone, see if I can take a photo and translate. Oh, God. What are they saying?
I'll do that too. But, I know this last one. It's like it's
laughing.
Basically just haha.
Ha
Yeah. But not like a haha, but more of a ha.
Oh god. But if there are any Korean speakers in the chat, let us know what just happened between these 2 guys. Was he like did you just like early roach warning? Yeah, I don't know what he said, but we're talking about what Ryung can do. Never mind.
He can GG. Oh, that was... I could feel the desperation in those last couple of medevac load-ins. GG is called, and Solar gonna be advancing to face the winner of Firefly versus Byun. Byun?
What?
Byun.
Wasn't it Dream? Am I crazy?
I may have been looking at the wrong one, yeah. Firefly versus Armani. No, wait, Firefly versus Byun, the winner of that is gonna go up to face Armani.
I was like, what are you on about?
Look.
Everyone, exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to check out all of the series that have just finished up. Ooh, congratulations to Patience 2-0ing M Canning in that PvP.
His dream.
I know. I wish I was there. It would have been, it would have been a lot of fun. But of course, like we had to go for our boy Ryung. Like he's been doing so well because of his performance against Armani last week. I wanted to see how he would do against someone like Solar. But again, it's only been a week in between, and Ryung, he's still got some room to grow.
That he does. And meanwhile, Solar, he is grown and growing with solar energy.